यहाँ का पासवर्ड दिया है कुछ यूज करने के लिए वाईफाई?
क्या सर?
वाईफाई यूज करने के लिए
नहीं नहीं
नहीं किया है, ऐसे ही ओपन है क्या?
हाँ, मैं तो लैन से चला रहा हूँ। मैं तो डेडिकेटेड लैन से चला रहा हूँ। लैन वायर खींचा मैंने वहाँ से, कल से यही कर रहा हूँ सर यहाँ।
ग्रेट, बहुत एफर्ट लगाया आपने।
नहीं,
हाँ
यहाँ रखा है पीछे।
तो और फाड़ दो,
नहीं नहीं, मैं कुछ आपका कैमरा को छू ही नहीं सकता।
उधर अपने पास ही रखो।
हाँ भाई, भाई ये चालू हो गया ना, ये चालू कर दिया।
स्ट्रेट रहेंगे तो कैसे होगा?
कर देंगे यार,
हाँ?
बोतल वोतल पे लगाएंगे यार कुछ।
क्या हुआ?
नहीं नहीं, क्या हो गया भाई ये?
जाके उसको पूछ, देखो मेरा कैमरा देख, नीचे जा रहा हूँ मैं। अब जाके उसकी कैमरा को अरे
हाँ भाई, भाई ये चालू हो गया ना, ये चालू कर दिया। कर देंगे यार। बोतल पे लगाएंगे।
वो एग्रीकल्चर वाला डाल दिया ना?
क्या?
एग्रीकल्चर का
हाँ हाँ, वो वहाँ पे ना, वो वहाँ पे डाल दिया, ये चलता रहेगा बीच
हाँ,
में।
मैं ये बिल्डिंग के ऊपर हूँ, मैं वेट कर रहा हूँ। फर्स्ट सेशन में।
अच्छा अच्छा।
I will email it to Mr. Karthik.
यस सर, आई गॉट इट। सर कॉम प्लेयर चाहिए ना उसमें?
हाँ कॉम्प्लेट चाहिए।
तो सर वही मैं डाउनलोड ही कर रहा हूँ बस। पीपीटी तो सर मिल गई है उनकी। ये है ना आईटी इनिशिएटिव माइनिंग सेक्टर। सर इसको हिलाएंगे नहीं सर, ये थोड़ा कनेक्टेड है।
ठीक है।
ये
एक मिनट प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में डालो ना यार। हाँ ठीक है। अरे यार चलो चलो चलो।
सर अब दे दीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
ईमेल हो गया यार।
कोई बात नहीं सर, आपके पास होगा वो कॉम प्लेयर का सेटअप?
हाँ हाँ सब
तो सर आप मुझे दे दीजिएगा, क्योंकि डाउनलोड नहीं हो रहा है सर।
दिखा दो
प्रेजेंटेशन दिखा दो सर। हाँ टेप, हाँ है ना, ये लो।
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है,
ठीक है ना, बस आप मुझे कॉम्प्लेट का सेटअप दे दीजिए।
ये इससे कैसे आएगा?
ये पेन ड्राइव है सर।
प्रेजेंटेशन क्लिक करो।
हाँ सर।
एक मिनट
सर पीपीटी तो इनॉगरल में नहीं होगा क्योंकि इनॉगरल सेशन पीपीटी में होगा सर। लास्ट में भी लास्ट सेशन
नहीं नहीं साहब, इनॉगरल सेशन में पीपीटी पे करें।
सर सर मेरे को तो दिक्कत हो जाएगा।
कौन बोल रहा है?
हम लोग सोचे थे कि लास्ट में जैसे बोलेंगे ना
नहीं नहीं, लास्ट में शायद ही माइट नॉट कम, उनको निकलना है, साहब से बात कर लीजिए।
हाँ मैं तो हॉल में हूँ, आप नीचे रजिस्ट्रेशन करा लीजिए, नीचे है ना गेस्ट बना हुआ है। मैं तो वहाँ पे मैं आप आ जाओ, मैं रखने को बाद में कर लेगा।
डेट चेंज करना 22 करो।
हाँ सर।
कार्तिक अच्छा, ये तो इसका इनविटेशन है।
आप ही ले आए हो जाके। सर वो दे दीजिए, जरा टाइम लग जाएगा इंस्टॉल होने में, फिर सेटअप
टाइम कुछ नहीं लगता है यार,
नहीं होता है।
2 मिनट 2 मिनट 1 मिनट में हो जाएगा।
ठीक है सर।
एक बार आप वहाँ उसको डाले अपना आईटी में।
नहीं सर, मैं बोल रहा था ना, वो दे दीजिए, सेटअप दे दीजिए कॉम्प्लेट।
हाँ मैं समझ रहा हूँ यार, .exe फाइल चाहिए ना
हाँ
आपको।
हाँ सर। इसमें सर वो प्रेजेंटेशन भी है ना जो
हाँ हाँ, आईटी इनिशिएटिव फाइल,
और उसमें वीडियो भी है।
हाँ वीडियो भी।
आप आइए सर, एक बार मेरे साथ कॉपी करा दीजिए। आइए।
covered so great.
Then you will not know what is left.
What is and then I also start talking on the same thing.
Right.
Then the audience hears the same thing. What changed the
This is the point of movie. This is more of an in-house Hello. Oh, do you get professional? They are doing a project. Up to that. इंसान इनसे ये सवाल पूछते हैं कि जब बेटा क्यों नहीं
change your plan. Change your plan. Staying abroad is much easier than staying in India. खासकर अगर relocate करते हैं तो वो relocate करना बहुत easy है.
Right. And they also provide you, I mean, especially all these agencies, World Bank,
आपको settle करने के लिए आपका वर्ल्ड बैंक इंटरनेशनल लेवल आपका ड्राइवर
these organizations, I mean, उनकी job posting
है तो मीडिया बैठेगा ना मीडिया था मीडिया जाएगा तो आलोचना पे चल ही जाएगा चलिए चलिए बैठिए आप मालिक अरे आपने
actually work इन्होंने एक पहले एक award के लिए apply किया when had his profile तो उसमें system होता है कि you once make it and if they get something which matches your CV that you an email if this posting is out if you want you can apply so there is a profile system and everything but now I no but I was waiting because I thought that at least 4 5 years experience of that there is no point huge experience so after getting
सीएम भी आ आप कौन विभाग देखते हैं
Yes, sir.
बहुत ज़्यादा जरूरी है
Yes, sir. I got it.
by the time
इसके बाद हम IT initiatives
so you can go on then they will say all of them
maybe we should see a good linguistic essay.
They have a cell where it is outside India.
Where is the email ID for the state panel? Somebody from
There must be many positions where children were actually
specify what kind of people actually yes, but if the state
practically maybe very difficult.
the states is the more
Oh, what is made and what is to be done. Then you are how rather than you have to see the need of the project.
It also saw many major IT security companies take part in the forum. The fourth annual eGov Secure IT 2015 saw an inauguration address by Dr. L.P. Narayan, President, Elex, Inaugural Private Limited.
Cybersecurity, disaster management, e-government is the forefront of the development of government undoubtedly is committed to provide efficient and transparent citizen
जगह
services
सुरक्षित रखिएगा
as we build for reform. But while we find whatever global business, it must be also open that some in this report, I particularly suspect the very controversial and also the everyday like we have our organization started with the aim of fixing the environment for governance, healthcare, education, and think about how we can use these ICT to address the various challenges that countries facing in the future.
The inaugural session focused on the key to upholding the security of the nation by leveraging information technology. The eminent speakers expressed their opinion on the different dimensions of cybersecurity and how technology can help create a robust infrastructure.
Agriculture is integral parts. One is application security, embedded. The second is system security. And third is network security. The fourth is coming up separate. The way technology is going fast, you have all four, like you just technology, coming in space. So we will have to find better means of doing all this cybercraft, all this cyber intelligence and America from influencing access.
And even much what I feel, various stakeholders, the Ministry of Intelligence, private sector, the organizations in the area of capacity building all together and increase the awareness, fluency, and knowledge sharing about various dimensions of cybersecurity.
We are discussing on what do you mean by cyber crime and cyber security and how we can use cyber technology. So I think very quickly I know information that I was one time. Because the previous day I remember there is something among
क्या हुआ यार इसमें डिस्प्ले कर रहा है क्या डिस्प्ले
सर देखिए
Odisha is one such place where this movement has been made. Although there is a respectful
देखो देखो चल
थोड़ा टाइम लेता है क्या सर चालू होने में?
नहीं यार टाइम नहीं लगता है
तो सर अगर ऐसा है ना तो जब सर प्रेजेंटेशन देने जाएंगे तो आप चाहे तो अपनी लैपटॉप
मेरे लैपटॉप में प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं होता है मतलब इसका ये वाला
अच्छा सर मैं ना उसको अलग से प्ले करूंगा ले जाके अब ये वीडियो मुझे दे दो बस
दिया हुआ है यार
सर उसमें चल क्यों नहीं रहा है
देखो देखो इधर प्ले करता है
एक अटेम्प्ट और लोगे उसको?
हाँ सर लूँगा।
Some of these are already why maybe like all these and all these numbers. When you look at this, and you look at India as a country, we find that as a look at the mobile penetration in the country is much higher than the PC penetration, and that's
That side you can see. Oh, oh, Rajneesh. Hey. Rajneesh.
हाँ सर
इंडस्ट्रीज का प्रेजेंटेशन
क्या?
इंडस्ट्रीज का प्रेजेंटेशन है इसमें।
तो सर जिस सेशन होगा उसमें कॉपी करा दूँ।
अच्छा अच्छा, ये जरूरत नहीं है।
नहीं नहीं अभी
सेक्रेटरी साहब बोले कि हम भेज दिया सुनील सुनील को हम बोल दिए वो सारे पेपर जैसे पिछला बार बना था ना जब प्रेसिडेंट पेपर बनाने के लिए बोले ऐसा है कि
इसको देखो टेलीफोन किया था राम राम की बारे में राम गुड पैकेज अच्छा ये जो बेंगलोर में इससे यूनिक it's little different in the sense why it talks about mindset. It talks about changing mindset. सीधा प्ले करता है इसमें एक बार क्लिक करो प्ले करता है बेसिकली
सर एक सेकंड रुकिए मैं जा रहा हूँ फिर से।
culture. He gave a beautiful example.
and the methodology is also different.
He basically asked people to raise their issues. Then he tell like, okay, that's your research.
सर यहाँ जब उस वाली सीट ऑफ पर सर यहाँ पे वो कैमरा वाले बैठेंगे सर आपको ये प्रॉब्लम है बार बार हिलेंगे ये वाली
Then he'll be afraid. He will try to or he will try to escape away or you try to run away, whatever you want. Because for you, snake is
A very good morning to all of you.
for a Chinese. If he sees the snake,
Honorable
he
Chief
tries to
Minister
catch it.
reaching the venue in just a
Because
short while.
it's the most delicious. So this is what mindset. Snake is and which Luxembourg डालेंगे
and the physical blocks.
हाँ is not events. It is the way we look at events. Sides are this one.
So that mindset comes through the sanskar as well.
Many things.
And experience, mostly through sanskar.
Like I have one or two programs on experimental basis and see how it affects you.
And what are the things? Four bedrooms, 1 lakh for 2 bedrooms.
Borrowed DGM first at a gate, then we started branching. Like here,
What is your normal procedure of paying? There is one set of times the rate is for.
no, for such influences, they get offer from you and take approval. These are special. These are special. Because normally we don't pay like we pay. It's not a normal
nomination basis.
No.
Who is the power to
For this,
give the
for all.
to certain level?
No, for me, this training program, I have to. Training program.
Our case it is,
If it's consulting, I have limitations. But if it's training program,
will it be that time? I think twice in a year or something.
so ICW consult because there should be budget. In consultation with finance करते हैं. Because there should be budget. ऐसा नहीं कि हम पेमेंट करते हैं और budget है. We were training budget. Like when we fall, I am another one. 5 lakhs.
What to after you long
Why we can remove it? For programs, special when you take faculty support, we are wonderful. But when they conduct program, certificate to the IM. They are also certificate to 6 lakhs. Go to the citizen, he is a company.
The more you read and the richer you become far more critical of what we are doing. Books, journals,
क्या है अपने वाले पूरा सर देख रहे हैं वही देख रहे हैं सर
have been a major global platform for our education system that was constituted. Because of the large population of India, to have huge demand for skill education, huge demand for higher education, huge demand for vocational education. And in all these three areas, the challenges are great. So our agenda was to bring in the experiences of various regions, various sectors, and develop new ideas and new things. There is a concept behind it. And with that, when we try to implement it on the ground, not only we are organized, but also the exhibitor who is participating and the delegate, all totally committed to involved. Our education policy stands on three pillars: access, education, plus equality. Education is also for living, for sharing, for growing, for culture, for civilization.
First March we have an introduced.
Look at this
I'm going to superhero treatment this month.
The new financial year will start with a
12% have applied. No, 56% have applied. 12 of the
there are
one of
also
one of them is
we need to make a policy and realize that all of the decisions, no matter what way they are done, can become research and quality wonderful to hire people in other countries, particularly Asia, would be really happy right now. Africa, how these countries are taking their
also from IIT
because
they also
India is contributing with all these countries to our work. In most countries, we have been produced a lot of graduates. But most of these graduates are now out in service. World over. And I think schools in our colleges.
we must be having at least 3 years to go.
Status of education for now, as well as what is education for them. The most critical factor drive this economy towards sustainable research, innovation, and however, whatever circumstances may be there, but still, teacher is the biggest connectivity between a student, or you can say a child, parent, as well as the society. Skilled worker as a double in quality, not 135 million. Right is my
oh, that's why the interview is in
around
the quality office. Who is your director?
opportunities for future when you put this line, when you match it to the skill, it's for tutors and therefore
He's for India for last 6 years.
Quality is self-idea. Yeah, secure IT 2015 conference there in the USA. The government and the private sector are discussing conflict resolution, cybersecurity, disaster management, and physical security related challenges present in India. Let's get straight into all the action. Secure IT 2015 started in New Delhi. Day of conference with spotlight on pressing issues of cybersecurity, disaster management, and physical security related challenges being faced by the governments around the world. It also saw many major IT security companies take part in the forum. The fourth annual eGov Secure IT 2013 saw the inauguration anniversary of Dr. M. Narayan, President, US, India. Cybersecurity, disaster management, e-governance is an important development. Government and the government committed to provide efficient and transparent citizen services on the doorstep. That's what they want. But not only what about the role of industry also quite some time with this viewpoint, I once again extend a very hearty welcome to the deputy secretary and also thank you. Our organization started with the aim of using technology for surveillance and education. Think about how we will use ICT to address the basic challenges that continue to face in the the inaugural session focused on improving the security of the nation by leveraging information technology. The eminent speakers expressed their opinion on different dimensions of security and how technology can help create a robust infrastructure.
फोल्डर में कर दीजिए वो हेलो एक मेल एक क्वेरी और फोल्डर में
The way technology is worldwide, they have to purpose. This time around, what is the scene of middle sector company? So we will have to find ways to so the demand is not was entering China is also on the same thing. Altogether, and increase awareness, experience sharing, and knowledge sharing was really valuable for what are you in the past 7 times? Among all stakeholders, you have Testing applications every context that we face is related to this. What we will learn the start of hypertension. So the bigger part of it was in the happiness and not I think that we could be very concerned for ethics. In the noise of the streets, in the backlog, as we have, so the values of the water supply systems, and control of the areas, control of the water systems. We can't handle it just the things that we very deep ideas. Not the radar access bacteria, along with so many possibilities of not also comes in a few methods such as cybersecurity and what we need for cybersecurity. Whereas we need cybersecurity more, and the government sector has released intelligence agencies, efforts, faster and faster. I think the aspects of the project has been one of the most innovative IT projects undertaken by the government. I've been invited to speak on experience that we had in different aspects of the project, particularly the IT security measures that we are setting gaps between government expectations in the law enforcement sector and what industry will do. I think when Prime Minister is speaking, they threw open some of the areas on which industry can enter. And this can be possible, this has been made possible through India. Colonel KPM Das, Vice President, National Security Solutions. This was his voice also threw some light on the issue of security. Actually, cyber security paradigm is still going for physical security. It is very concept of one security argument. It center stage after 1910. When the first time the United States was not and the borders were not communicated. जाएंगे अभी तो सीपी साहब के आए जाएंगे एकदम जाएंगे ठीक 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 तमिलनाडु में हाँ 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 We are in fact developing a major project with the plan tracking system, and it has because our Indian security is we also in fact not only we have qualifications to use that we have I think robust, more robust system is coming out.
एक ब्लैंक फॉर्म कौन सी
large solution provider of technology solutions, whether it be in the area of, whether it's in the area of defense, area of state governments, the tax, treasury, police automation. So we are a technology provider. So we probably partner with large system integrators and country companies. It's time for a very short break on our special coverage. eJharkhand Secure IT 2013 conference here in Brussels. The focus is on securing the nation with cyber security. This focus also continues on the other side. Welcome back. It's still walking on. Thank you for listening to all of you now. eJharkhand Secure IT 2013 conference here in Brussels. The focus is on securing the nation in cyber security. Let's go. The next session is the annual eJharkhand Because I think it's mine. Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India was up next presenting the challenges faced in the field of technology.
Security should allow you to be individual department organization to be able to prevent unauthorized access to this. And because we can
Our next speaker at the fourth annual INSA Secure IT 2013 is Sergeant A. Director Systems Engineering, India and South.
what we see is internet connected devices, devices not human beings, devices outside which is moving in your that means huge number of devices. We also see that number of apps downloaded. Users worldwide 2.1 billion around 2.2 The other research shows that for 40 antivirus programs, the latest patches and updates being subject to 80 defects, and the catch rate was only 5%. Again, this is verified. And that means 95% of the viruses seamlessly into the antivirus base. So, with all points here, something there is an enemy on the other side. Our systems are not adequate. We need to think beyond the status quo.
This is basically software security company. We are having 4 million of products of this software security product. Physical security, data security, email security, and mobile security. Sometimes India is not that very fast. Basically, of one last 5 years, I'm having website. India will have to like there will be a lot of new required in the field of cybersecurity. And the next, I think, is very big. The ability to forensic cybersecurity and capacity. Innovation is the key when it comes to cybersecurity. The next set of speakers have some really interesting analogies to share with the audience. In my opinion, I only want to get the point to just holding onto the handlebar of my local train. What options do you have? Nothing. You have to run a escape of train and come to the train. Until you track along the platform until you get killed. Or you use the handlebar, you go on the piece. You get killed. Options you have. You have to run. With technology, you have to run even if you always stay where you are. Look at the problem is becoming hard. The expectation for requirements and individuals work on IT for masters sensors and
नहीं जा रहे
Do's and don'ts which a person handling an e-governance problem. It is primarily the review process and focus on cybersecurity. So that you know,
I request all the dignitaries to join us on the dais. Guest of honor, Shri R.S. Sharma, Chief Secretary, Government of Jharkhand. Shri Gopal Singh, CMD, Central Coalfields Limited. Shri R.K. Bahuguna, CMD, Railtel Corporation of India Limited. So please join us on the stage. Shri Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, STPI. Dr. M.P. Narayanan, President, Iles Technomedia Private Limited. And lastly, I would request Program Chair, Shri N.N. Sinha, Principal Secretary, Department of IT, Government of Jharkhand, to join us on the stage. We welcome all the dignitaries. Jharkhand is a pioneer state in social, economic, and political space. The objective of eJharkhand is to showcase the state as an emerging destination for information technology companies to set up their development centers. It is a platform to share knowledge on various business-friendly policies, e-governance initiatives, and measures that the state government is taking to promote information technology industry in the state. The government of Jharkhand realizes that now it is the time to raise the bar and take the decisions on promotion of IT industry to the next level. The agenda of eJharkhand has been designed in such a way that the emphasis is less on the past and present. Instead, the idea is to shape the future while drawing from all the past experiences. To begin with the inaugural session, I would request today's guest of honor, Shri R.S. Sharma, Chief Secretary, Government of Jharkhand, to grace us with few words. Okay, so I request Mr. R.K. Bahuguna to please grace us with few words.
Secretary Ramaji, Chief Secretary, my other colleagues on dais, and the Chief Minister who is likely to come. I thank you for giving this opportunity to be here in the Jharkhand in Ranchi. This is the state where I started my career and I got my first salary in Telco Jamshedpur. And I had a second stint of working in Jharkhand when we were doing radio rectification work in Datanganj, Pakratu, Barkakana, this section. So I have rather worked in railways for quite some time, but have the experience of being with the people of Jharkhand and working here for some time. I have made my presentation primarily covering into the areas of e-governance and what is the overall picture in this and what RailTel is the Ministry of Railways telecom company who basically creates telecom infrastructure and networking all around, including IT. So what way they are supporting? So this is the theme I have picked up. So developing urban and rural ecosystems. See, if we talk of growth, what do we call of growth is like we have something called a core infrastructure. Core infrastructure means like you have industries, you have mining, you have all the facilities around. So that's the core infrastructure. And then to manage that core infrastructure, what you are looking at is road network, along that rail network, air, so that you can access from various points. Then other major requirement is power. That power should be available to run the industry. It necessarily lead to generation of employment. And to govern all this very well, you require a proper system of education, that you have a qualified manpower. We proudly state that we have so many million people below the age of 35 years, but at the same time, how many of them become employable? The quality education becomes important, and for keeping society healthy and happy, the health becomes equally important. This overall synergy takes into the quality of life, but all of us realize that despite of working over so many years, these are most of these things on core infrastructure, etc., very, very capital intensive and takes a lot of time to execute. We are creating highways, railways, all other things. It takes a lot of time. So, but we have seen a difference. In telecom, we could do things much differently than we could do in any other industry. We never had this success. Particularly, I come from railways. We have seen it growing only from 55,000 kilometers at the time of independence to 63,000 kilometers, maybe 3,000 kilometers. It is hardly a growth for the country of this size with growth of this size. Similarly, on the road, despite of the concentrated efforts of government, we are still building. So that's the difference we find compared to developed countries in India, that basic infrastructure becomes a challenge. But in telecom, we saw a totally different scenario. We took off somewhere on the curve, and then the growth was, we are one time much better connected in a mobile network than even USA. It is very fast deployment. Over 20 years, we have almost saturated, so nothing much to do. It's affordable. It requires very less capital. Then it has grown wherever the business was there because it was driven by business interest. I'll continue later.
A warm welcome to Honorable Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Shri Hemant Soren. I will request Program Chair Shri N.N. Sinha, Principal Secretary, Department of IT, Government of Jharkhand, to felicitate Honorable Chief Minister. Now I will request on. Thank you, sir. And to all other dignitaries, I request Program Chair to felicitate all other dignitaries with the bouquet. Now I will request Honorable Chief Minister and other dignitaries to please light up the lamp and do a formal inauguration of eJharkhand event. It's a pleasure for us to have Honorable Chief Minister, under whose leadership every new day a young state like Jharkhand is reaching to the new heights, especially in terms of IT and e-governance. After the lighting up lamp ceremony, we will be requesting the Chief Minister to launch the special issue of eGov magazine, which is a special issue on Jharkhand, covering all the e-governance and IT initiatives taking place in Jharkhand. Now I will request Honorable Chief Minister to please launch the Jharkhand special issue of eGov magazine. eGov magazine, this issue has covered all the major e-governance and IT initiatives by various departments, PSUs and companies in the state. eGov magazine is Asia's premium monthly magazine on e-governance. It provides a much needed platform to the voices of various stakeholders in the arena of e-governance. And this special issue of eGov magazine is covering all the major e-governance initiatives of major departments, PSUs and companies in the Jharkhand. Also the banks. Thank you very much, sir. After this launch of magazine, I would request Honorable Chief Minister Shri Hemant Soren to please grace us with a few words.
Respected Chief Minister Jharkhand, Mr. Hemant Soren, Mr. Ram Sevak Sharma, the popular and eminent Chief Secretary, and distinguished dignitaries in the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to take just only 1 minute to extend a very hearty welcome to the Honorable Chief Minister. We are very happy, sir, that notwithstanding I mean, when I say you are busy schedule, it is a busy schedule. You are going for your assembly, you are going for your budget. In spite of it that you have come, along with the chief secretary, it means your commitment to the subject of IT, and we hope that a lot of things in the next 2 days will come to know about what you have done, and without signing on formalities, extending once again a hearty welcome to you. I will now request the Honorable Chief Minister to say a few words.
Before that, I will request Program Chair Shri N.N. Sinha to give a welcome address and introduce about the eJharkhand event. Please, sir.
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, मुख्य सचिव जी, इस डायस पे उपस्थित सीएमडी रेलटेल श्री आर.के. बहुगुणा, डीजी एसटीपीआई डॉक्टर ओंकार राय, प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट्स मीडिया डॉक्टर एमपी नारायणन, सीएमडी सीसीएल श्री गोपाल सिंह जी, इस सभागार में उपस्थित ऑनरेबल गेस्ट, स्टीम गेस्ट, हमारे आईटी विभाग और सरकार के स्टीम कलीग्स, आईटी सेक्टर से जुड़े विभिन्न एक्सपर्ट्स, मीडिया बंधु, देवी एवं सज्जनों, जैसा कि मिस्टर नारायणन ने बताया, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का आज विधानसभा में कार्यक्रम है, बजट का दिन है, इसके बावजूद अपनी व्यवस्थाओं से के बावजूद आज आए हैं। ये उनकी कमिटमेंट को दर्शाता है। सर, हम आपको इस प्रोग्राम में वेलकम करते हैं। आपके आशीर्वचनों से हमें आईटी के सेक्टर में हम कैसे आगे बढ़ें, इसमें हमें बहुत ही मार्गदर्शन मिलेगा और आप इससे आपके इन वचनों से हम आगे बढ़ पाने में समर्थ हैं। हमारे इस सभागार में आज काफी विशिष्ट जन उपस्थित हैं और ये आईटी के क्षेत्र में जो हमारी उपलब्धियां रही हैं उन पे सेलिब्रेट करने का वक्त भी है और कैसे और आगे बढ़ें, कैसे जन जन तक आईटी को ले जाएं, जो हमारे सीएम साहब की आकांक्षा है, उनकी अभिलाषा है, इसको पूरा करने में हमें मदद मिलेगी। आज का जो ई गवर्नेंस झारखंड इवेंट है, वो इन सभी स्ट्रैंड्स को, सभी धाराओं को एक साथ लाता है और इन धाराओं पे हम आज अलग अलग सत्रों में चर्चा करेंगे। एक जैसे आधार पर है, झारखंड में ई गवर्नेंस की बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस क्या है, नेक्स्ट ई गवर्नेंस की बेस्ट और नेक्स्ट प्रैक्टिसेस क्या है, सिक्योरिटी के क्षेत्र में आगे आईटी का उपयोग करके क्या किया जा सकता है, लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स, सर्वे, रजिस्ट्रेशन, इन क्षेत्रों में क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो सकता है, इन सभी धाराओं का, सभी विचार विमर्शों का उद्देश्य ये है कि हम ये जानें कि आईटी के क्षेत्र में और क्या क्या संभावनाएं हैं, हमने क्या किया है, इसमें हमें और क्या करने का अवसर मिल सकता है, इन सब पे चर्चा करें। मुझे विश्वास है कि आज की चर्चा में जो हमारे विभिन्न क्षेत्रों से, विभिन्न राज्यों से विशेषज्ञ आए हैं, हमारे डायस पे इतना इमिनेंट पैनल बैठा और सभागार में भी काफी इमिनेंट लोग हैं, इन सब के सहयोग से जो चर्चा होगी, जो विचार विमर्श होगा, वो निश्चित रूप से झारखंड में ई गवर्नेंस को आगे ले जाने वाला होगा। मैं आपको इस अवसर तक बस 2 मिनट और लेते हुए कहना चाहूंगा कि आईटी के क्षेत्र में झारखंड काफी पहले से अग्रणी भूमिका निभाता रहा है। 2004 में इसने आईटी पॉलिसी लाई, सीएससी और स्वयं को लागू करने वाला पहला राज्य था। इसने इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिलीवरी ऑफ सर्विसेज एक्ट को 2011 में लागू किया और उसके रूल्स फॉर्मुलेट किए। ऐसे कई क्षेत्र हैं जिसमें हम लोगों ने अग्रणी भूमिका निभाई है और सबसे जो आज का लेटेस्ट है और रिसेंट है, वो आधार का इनरोलमेंट काफी ज्यादा है और उसके बेसिस पे हम बहुत सारी सर्विसेज लॉन्च कर रहे हैं। ये हमारे लिए तो बहुत ही बड़ी उपलब्धि की बात है, लेकिन हम इन लॉरेंस पे जो हमारी उपलब्धियां उन पे बैठना नहीं चाहते, बल्कि उनको लेके ई गवर्नेंस के क्षेत्र में कैसे तेजी से आगे बढ़े, ये हमारा उद्देश्य है। और आज की चर्चा, आज का आज का विचार विमर्श, आज की गोष्ठी इसी दिशा की ओर कदम है। मुझे लगता है कि आज का विचार विमर्श निश्चित तौर पे बहुत लाभकारी होगा। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का समय काफी सीमित है और उनके काफी व्यस्त कार्यक्रम है। मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वे अपने आशीर्वचन हमें दें और हमें मार्गदर्शन प्रदान करें कि हम कैसे इस दिशा में और आगे बढ़े और राज्य में आईटी के प्रयोग में उनकी क्या सोच है, उनकी क्या धारणा है। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी।
आज यहाँ ई गवर्नेंस के कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी सम्मानित मंच पर उपस्थित सदस्य, सभी लोगों के परिचय लगभग सबको मालूम ही है। काफी लोगों ने अपने क्षेत्र में अपना नाम कमाया हुआ है। मैं बहुत संक्षिप्त में अपनी बातों को रखना चाहूंगा क्योंकि आज हम लोगों का बजट सत्र चल रहा है। फिर भी कोई काम रुके नहीं, वो भी होना चाहिए, ये भी चलता रहना चाहिए। और झारखंड में ई गवर्नेंस को लेकर लगभग हम लोग बिल्कुल ही मजबूती के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं और इसमें विशेषकर शर्मा साहब हमारे चीफ सेक्रेटरी इस राज्य के आईटी के क्षेत्र में ऐसे ही इनका पहले से ही बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है। सिर्फ झारखंड ही बल्कि पूरे देश के पैमाने पर ये हम लोगों की सौभाग्य की बात है कि आज राज्य भी मुख्य सचिव के रूप में कार्यरत है और आईटी के क्षेत्र में हम कितना बेहतर कर सकते हैं इस पर लगातार प्रयास जारी है और हमने इनको भी स्पष्ट रूप में पहले भी कहा हुआ है, आप इस क्षेत्र में बिल्कुल स्वतंत्र रूप से आप काम करें और जो आज की समय है निश्चित रूप से ये आईटी सेक्टर हमारे हर दिनचर्या कार्य में इन्वॉल्व हो चुका है। लगभग मोटा मोटी आप कह सकते हैं कि चाहे हम पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, चाहे किसी भी ऑफिस में कार्यरत है, सरकारी हो या प्राइवेट हो, सभी को इससे जुड़ा रहना पड़ रहा है। और यहाँ तक एक आम नागरिक भी जो अपने व्यक्तिगत जीवन में भी जी रहा हो, उसको भी इससे जुड़े हुए रहते हैं। तो आज इस क्षेत्र में हम लोगों ने बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कदमें भी उठाई हैं, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण उपलब्धियां भी हासिल की हैं और क्योंकि जो रफ्तार है आज के दिन समय का, इसमें मैं समझता हूँ कि आईटी का सहयोग हमारे विकास के लिए नितांत आवश्यक हो चुका है। आज चाहे स्वास्थ्य सेवा को लेकर कहें, चाहे आप फूड सप्लाई को कहें, चाहे पेंशन डिलीवरी कहें, चाहे टैक्स कलेक्शन की बात कहें, चाहे किसी भी क्षेत्र में आप कहें, तो हमको लगता है कि इस तकनीक का उपयोग कर हम बेहतर परिणाम ले सकते हैं और जल्द से जल्द ले सकते हैं और समय की बचत के साथ हम और अधिक से अधिक काम कर सकते हैं। आज पूरे विस्तृत रूप में सभी लोग बताएंगे आपको कि झारखंड में कितनी महत्वपूर्ण कदमें उठाई हैं। आज हम लोग ग्रामीण स्तर से लेकर शहर तक इस नेटवर्क को जोड़ने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं ताकि एक ट्रांसपेरेंट सिस्टम डेवलप हो सके और बेहतर व्यवस्था स्थापित हो सके। आज हम लोग हर राज्य का हर व्यक्ति कहीं ना कहीं इस तकनीक से जुड़ तो चुका ही है। उस तकनीक का क्या बेहतर उपयोग हो सके, लाभ हो सके, इसको और कितना सिंप्लीफाई कर सके, एक अनपढ़ व्यक्ति इसका कैसे लाभ उठा सके, इस पर भी हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। आज निश्चित रूप से नारायण साहब यहाँ मैं लगातार 2-3 दिन से इनसे मुलाकात कर रहा हूँ। कोल इंडिया के एक महत्वपूर्ण पद से रिटायर हुए हैं और अभी भी जिस उम्र में जितनी एनर्जेटिक वे में ये अपना कार्य कर रहे हैं, मुझे खुद में भी कभी कभी लगता है कि हम भी शायद उनसे कम काम कर पा रहे हैं। और झारखंड के हर भौगोलिक हर क्षेत्र से ये वाकिफ भी है, यहाँ कोल इंडिया के लोग भी उपस्थित हैं। और मैं एक विशेष बात थोड़ी सी रखना चाहूंगा कि कोल इंडिया के वरिष्ठ पदाधिकारी भी यहाँ उपस्थित हैं कि ये माइनिंग क्षेत्र पूरे राज्य में तो विभिन्न चीजों में खनन होती ही जा रही है, हो भी रही है, आगे भी होंगी। इसमें जमीन को लेकर जिस तरीके से विवाद होते हैं, जमीन को लेकर जिस तरीके से बातें कभी कभी आती हैं, समस्याएं उलझती हैं, हमें एक लैंड रिकॉर्ड सरकार तो बना ही रही है। हम कोल इंडिया को भी ये कहेंगे कि ये भी अपना एक सिस्टम स्टैब्लिश करे ताकि सरकार और संस्था की एक कोऑर्डिनेशन बेहतर हो सके। बहुत सारी समस्याएं हम लोगों के समक्ष आती है जिसको आज के दिन में कागजों को जिस तरीके से हम उलटते हैं उससे बहुत चीजें स्पष्ट नहीं हो पाती हैं। आप लोग भी सरकार के इस व्यवस्था के साथ अगर आप जुड़ जाते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि ये एक हम लोगों का कोऑर्डिनेशन का काम कर सकता है, बेहतर व्यवस्था हम लोगों को दे सकता है। बातें बहुत सारी हैं, समय का अभाव है। मैं समझता हूँ कि आप जितने लोग प्रबुद्ध नागरिकजन हैं, आप इन सब चीज को देख भी रहे हैं, समझ भी रहे हैं। आप लोगों के सुझाव भी निश्चित रूप से काफी महत्वपूर्ण होंगे। आप लोग
those e-governance platforms which we have developed thus far have to factor and have to sort of build for the mobile technology. Thirdly, I think in today's world where there is so much of emphasis on corruption removal, prevention of corruption, and you have all kinds of laws, there is so much of emphasis on welfare, where not being satisfied merely by projects, one has started having laws. So, for example, for employment, you have the MNREG Act. For food safety, now you have the Food Security Act. So there are legislations which actually are aimed at ensuring that the welfare or the benefits are not really some kind of gratis or some kind of graces which the government is providing. It is an entitlement and it's a right. So now this form of benefit is being converted into an entitlement, whether it's an entitlement for getting a job or whether it's an entitlement for getting, let's say, food at subsidized prices and things like that. Now, making law is one thing, but ensuring that the laws are followed or there is a compliance of the law is quite another. And I think without technology, you cannot ensure that the laws are enforced properly, and therefore technology is a great enabler even from the perspective of enforcement of these laws. And so whether it is a Food Security Act, now how do you ensure that the person gets the ration he has been entitled for? And there should be some method, some transparent and non-repudiable method which actually proves that the person got the ration which he was entitled for. So if otherwise it becomes the PDS shop dealer says everybody who is a ration card holder has got the ration. The person who is actually a beneficiary or the person who is entitled for says no, I didn't get it because this guy, when I went to his shop, he told me that the ration has not come, the grains have not come from the government, allotment has not come, and therefore his shop was closed or whatever. So there is always this constant tussle, and you keep on inquiring, and there are vigilance committees and all kinds of committees. If there could be a way in which both these things are proved, whether who is telling a lie, whether this person who is the ration holder or whether this person who is entitled for ration, whether the shopkeeper or the ration card holder, who is telling the lie. So if you have a way in which you can prove beyond any doubt, technologically, that this person indeed picked up the ration, even if you can't say that he picked up 35 kilograms or 20 kilograms, you can certainly tell that he did indeed come to the shop, put his signature or thumb impression and got the ration. Then you see it solves a whole lot of problems of accountability, transparency, cost effectiveness, all those issues which are today so very important. And therefore, even from the perspective of ensuring transparency, it is technology is the way to do it. Because one way is that you can have these papers available everywhere in every panchayat. You can have on the notice board list of beneficiaries who are getting pension, for example, old age pension. But that's not really the way to do things, because you should have access to information as and when you need it, 24/7. And the internet or the list of beneficiaries being published on the website is the best way to ensure that anybody who can sort of see the list. Suppose I want to see the list of beneficiaries in that panchayat, I can just sort of log on to the site and see. Similarly, so what I'm saying is that accessibility of the information as you need it, when you need it, really is an extremely powerful tool to enable people to do things. Lastly, portability. Now you see initial phases of these entitlement kind of things. A person was bound to a ration shop. I can only go to this ration shop and this guy doesn't behave properly, then it is his versus me. Now this kind of technology where the entitlement is on the cloud and now the identity is on the cloud, the authentication of that identity is on the cloud, and because cloud is accessible from anywhere, anytime, and therefore it makes it possible that whenever you move, your entitlement moves with you, your identity moves with you, and you can authenticate that. So this portability, which is a concept which was not possible without technology, is now possible. So technology enables us to do things the way, for example, interoperability is another issue. if I have my account in the State Bank of India today, I can go to any ATM of any bank with my debit card and draw the money. Now, this kind of interoperable architecture was not available earlier. Now, these tools are now available. You can go, to any shop, or you can actually access any micro ATM from any place and draw and operate your account anywhere. So those things are now available because of technology in a very cost-effective manner, in a very transparent manner. So I think all of us will have to think in our respective areas, because many of us are administrators and many of us have been doing things the old way, and many of us have a lot of experience. Experience is a great thing, but experience also becomes quite limiting, because then you are typified into that particular area. You're not able to think beyond. In a way, you're not able to think out of the box. So therefore, this experience should not become a limiting factor. Experience should become an enabler and innovative thinking, catalyst for innovative thinking. So this, all of us will have to think as to how we can use, what are the processes in our systems, what are the things which we can do to improve the productivity, to improve the transparency, to reduce the cost, to reduce the manpower burden and all the quality improvement. All these things have to be thought. And it is not the domain of the IT department per se to introduce e-governance or the governance in various sectors. All of us are responsible, because ultimately it is IT department is only thought provider in some sense, maybe a service provider in some sense, maybe a somebody who knows a little bit better technology than all of you. But ultimately, how that technology is agnostic to its use. Technology has no sort of religion in that sense of the term. It's a very secular kind of thing. But you have to figure out as to how technology can be leveraged better. So all of us here today should think as to what my processes are. I have been doing these processes in certain way. Do I need to continue to do the processes the same way, or there is a better way? Because unfortunately, our whole processes are built on suspicion. Our processes are built on certain rigorous processes, rigorous methods of doing things, and those have become hard-coded in our thinking. With the result that we always, we can't think beyond these things. You should always challenge each and every process of yours. What is the value add of that process? What is the value I am adding? If I am getting, everybody's leave is coming to me and I'm just, signing on it, am I really contributing anything? Or some file is just coming for my signature, am I doing anything, worthwhile? So I think you should always think why a process is needed today. Can that thing not be done in something very different, very, way? For example, just a recent example, we have introduced the biometric attendance system. Now, the biometric attendance system actually makes the entire attendant registers useless. There is no need for you have an attendance register on the cloud, and it's an attendance register where you can see it for eternity. Maybe 20 years hence, you can see whether Mr. R.S. Sharma had attended the office on this particular day or not. This is the power. So the data is being captured, it is being generated, and it generates all kinds of reports. So therefore, there is no need for an attendance register today. So these things have to be thought whether certain things are needed in today's environment. Why were they being done earlier? Why can't they be dispensed with? Every process has to be justified on the basis of its value addition, on the basis of its utility. Unfortunately, we keep on accepting these things as given. This is the way we are doing things. This is the way they are being done in the past, and therefore this is the right way. That is not really the approach. So all of us will have to, sort of think through these things, and we should proceed with that. And I'm sure all of us can contribute. But ultimately, what is the whole purpose of this government? The whole purpose of governance is twofold. One is to in a regulatory form of government, driver licenses, this, that, those regulatory issues, and then the developmental issue, delivery, system deliveries. Now, delivery, unless all of us, for example, we announced, this government has also announced a lot of measures. For example, we have relaxed the conditions of the old age pension. Suddenly, from 8,000, 5,500, we have said 10,000 for 10,500 for a rural area person. A rural area person who has got 10,500 income up to, he will be given a pension, old age pension, or he's 60 years and etc. Similarly, in urban area, 12,500. Now, after the relaxation of the condition, what has happened? There is a huge queue before the circle officer to get the income certificates. Because now I become eligible. I was not eligible earlier, now I am eligible. So they want to have an income certificate. Now, income certificate, the CEO's office is designed to give income certificate less than 10 people. Now, if there are 1,000 guys sitting in front of CEO's office, he can't give the income certificates. So, are there better ways to do this thing? And now, this had, in fact, the chief minister was saying 2-3 days before, he called me and he said, Sharma, this is a very funny problem because we did this thing to benefit people. Now, people are being harassed by our machinery. Can we come up with a better method? So then we have to think as to what is the better method we can come up with, rather than everybody lining up for income certificates. Can we think of, okay, what is the population of, let's say, people 60 years in my state? Suppose the population is 20 lakhs. I am going to give, let's say, the pension to 60 lakh people. Now there are only 4 lakh guys who have to be eliminated. So rather than having an inclusive criteria for income certificates, why can't I devise a method where I want only to exclude these 4 lakh people? Because 80% are in any case going to be included. Only 20% are going to be excluded. Let me have an exclusion criteria. And can I have an exclusion criteria which is not based on somebody's recommendation or somebody's subjective kind of decision? Can I have an exclusive criteria which is based on, again, IT? For example, Aadhaar enrollment is 92% in my state. Now 92% fellows, I know their age. If I ask them, you will get old age pension, how old are you? Even at 40 years, I will say I'm 65. This is the way things are. And if I say I want to have an insurance done, if 65 years, I will say I'm 40 years. Now you have a basic objective determinant, that is Aadhaar, which gives you age. So you say, all right, anybody who's got Aadhaar 65 plus is good enough. Secondly, you have done a socio-economic caste census. Now, socio-economic caste census gives you the digitized data of income levels of each family. Now, you can say anybody who's got more than 10,500 will be excluded. Period. So he gives an application, you check about these things, what is his age, what is his income, and you are good to go. So that should be the way in which we should divide our processes to deliver these benefits. Because unless you strengthen this delivery system, the pipeline, howsoever water you flow through this pipeline will all leak out. So therefore, the major task for us for welfare service delivery is to strengthen these delivery systems. And I'm sure today's deliberation will take care of all these issues. And the basic objective of our being here is essentially to deliver better services to our people, to govern better, and to provide better services. Thank you. I have to thank you. And it is not a formal thanksgiving to Mr. R. Sharma. Apart from the fact I know him for such a long time, I know what he has achieved, not in his present capacity, but even in past capacity as the secondary IT here, and on GIS and GPS, he has done a lot of work. And then Aadhaar, last but not least, whenever I see my Aadhaar card, I see his image behind them, not anybody else. So today, notwithstanding his business busy schedule that he has with us, and that shows his commitment to IIT and also somewhat commitment to me at a personal level. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. To continue the inaugural session, now I would like to invite Shri Gopal Singh, Chairman cum Managing Director, Central Coalfield Limited, to please address the audience.
उधर से निकल जाओ यार।
Doyen of the mining industry, Narayanan sir, Principal Secretary IT, respected NL Sinha sir, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed pleasure and privilege for me that I am here to take part in this mega event. We have heard our Chief Minister, who did make a mention of the mining industry. We heard our Chief Secretary, who in true sense deliberated at length about the use of IT technology in ensuring transparency, portability, and you might have noted, he mentioned about secularism also. So I'd like to orient my speech in that order only. I mean, I would like to cover the mining industry in brief, and then I would like to deliberate about the use of IT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting in a state which is so rich in diversity. 30% of our area is covered with forest. We are so rich in flora and fauna. We have so many pioneer institutes of the country, like Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad, established in 1926. We have XMLI in Jamshedpur. We have IIM in Ranchi. We have TIMESRA and so many institutions. We have the Central Mining Research Institute in Dhanbad. We have CMPDI. We have such a good climate. Average rainfall we get about 1300 mm. This state can be a hub of the IT industry because of its climate and the talent that we have. We have a good pool of human resource. This state, by nature, I mean, whatever manpower we have, Jharkhand is, let me tell you, particularly tribals. They are very hard-working people. And given the proper training and development, they can prove to be an asset for the nation. There are so many examples like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Deepika from Jamshedpur, and so many. And above all, this state is so rich in minerals. We have 21 varieties of minerals found in this state. This state happens to be the richest state in terms of reserve of minerals like coal, iron ore, and minerals, my friends, let me tell you, though directly they contribute about mineral sector as such, it contributes about 2.8% to the GDP of the country. But if you look at the 28% contribution of the industrial sector towards the GDP, I mean, none of these sectors can work without the contribution from the minerals. You require minerals in every form. Every sector requires somehow the presence of minerals. For example, if you look at the electricity sector, I mean, electricity is the basic requirement for any industry, for any sector. Even for agricultural sector, it requires sufficient amount of electricity at cheaper, at affordable cost. And in our country, still 54% of the electricity generation is based on coal. And this trend is likely to continue in future because other resources which are used for electricity generation, for example, I mean, gas, oil, we have limited reserve. The reserve what we have of the gases and of the oil, that is going to last hardly for 25-30 years. Hydel, you know the limitations. Renewable sources for electricity, you know the limitations. These are so costly. I mean, coal-based electricity, it costs here about 2 to 3 rupees an unit, whereas solar electricity, it costs something around 10 rupees, 12 rupees per unit, which a country like ours cannot afford simply. So in essence, this mineral sector has to continue if the country is required to go at the desired pace. If the state is dreaming of becoming a leading state of the country, it has to rely on the mineral sector. It has to explore the mineral potential that the state has. But again, it's a fact that mineral sector, it has so many demerits as well. And I think Chief Minister was hinting towards that only. I mean, this is the fact that the mineral sector scars the face of the earth. We damage the environment. We disturb the ecology. We cause displacement, rehabilitation of the person. So it is at this juncture, I mean, we require essentially the mineral sector, but at the same time, the society, the nation, the state cannot afford to have these ill effects of the mining sector. So it is at this point that coordination, cooperation is required. There is a need for coexistence. And this is very much possible. The only thing required is, in my view, our approach has to be philanthropic, our approach has to be ethical, and our method of working, our working style has to be transparent. Exactly with this, hello, something is wrong. Yeah. Exactly with this in view, in CCL, we have evolved and adopted a model that we call Kayakalp model. This model is nothing but essentially based on the three values, that is philanthropy, ethics, and transparency. It relies essentially heavily on the IT for ensuring transparency, with the ultimate objective to ensure inclusive growth. Because as I told you, this mineral industry, it causes displacement, it causes rehabilitation. So unless you take care of those villagers, those project affected persons, no industry, no sector can survive. So this model concentrates on finally to ensure inclusive growth for the society, for the state, for the stakeholders. This model has about 35 schemes to promote transparency, to develop the services in the field of innovation, health, education, drinking water, discipline enforcement, safety environment, infrastructure development, mechanization, automation, and most importantly, self-reliance of the project affected persons. When we talk about ensuring transparency, it is only the IT, it is only the use of technology which can ensure transparency. We heard our Chief Secretary, he deliberated at length, and that is the fact that unless we deploy the IT on a larger scale, transparency cannot be ensured. And with this in view, we have taken so many initiatives in the field of IT. Already we have introduced operator independent truck dispatch system in one of our biggest projects, that is Piperwa project. We are going for RFID CCTV based vehicle monitoring system on a large scale in all of our mines. We are going to have GPS RFID CCTV and automatic weighment and boom barrier based monitoring system for all the coal carrying trucks flying in our command zone. There are about more than 2,000 trucks flying in our zone. So each truck will be monitored based on this GPS technology. Let me tell you, we are going to have van installation. It's all in the process. We are going to connect all our establishments through van, and once we have the highway, we will have our ERP system in place. Already we have gone for 100% e-tendering. We have gone for reverse e-auction, and that has resulted in huge saving of 539 crores. And it is because of e-tendering and reverse auction, my friends, let me tell you, that anybody sitting in even New York, he can quote for our tenders, he can become L1, he can get the work order while sitting in New York. He is not required to come to Ranchi. So that is the scope of the IT technology. We have gone for 100% e-payment, e-procurement. Already we have started uploading the information related to bill payment status, EMD, SD, etc. on website for greater transparency. We have gone for on-filing of property return, online recruitment of non-executives. We are going to have executive information system and online filing of complaints. Regarding the complaints, let me tell you, because one of the basic essence of transparency, I feel that I must give your stakeholders the opportunity to lodge any complaint if they have about the company. And with this in view, we have established one Samadhan Kendra. When you enter our headquarters, the Ganga House, you will find one center that is Samadhan Kendra. Any stakeholder, anybody from Jharkhand or from the country, he can lodge his complaint against any of the CCL stakeholders, any of the CCL working procedure through toll-free number, that is 1-800-345-6501. And the beauty about this Samadhan Kendra, that is single window grievance redressal cell, is that if you lodge your complaint, within 30 days, you are bound to get the reply. The reply could be positive, the reply could be negative. But in case it's negative, the reason is given in writing, duly signed by the concerned head of department. So you have the freedom to go to the court or to any other institution. And that's the beauty. And now very soon we are going to have online system for lodging the complaints also. So the essence is that it is only information technology, it's only the technology automation that can help us achieving our dream. This state has huge potential, but it's again a fact that we are almost, I think, about 15th in GDP, in terms of GDP, if you compare other states of the country. We are 25th, we rank 25th in terms of literacy. So there is a huge scope for technology, there is a huge scope for various facets of the development in this country, in this state, and I see no reason why this state should not occupy the topmost slot in the country if compared to other states. There is huge scope for tourism, there is huge scope for industrial development, and if our approach is philanthropic, ethical, I don't see any reason why mining sector should be disastrous for the state. Recently, I was talking to one very veteran leader of this state. He was telling that he is going to write a letter, minerals a curse for the state. This is the feeling of the general people about the mining industry. But is it really so? Is it really so? It's only because of the mindset, because we have sufficient money, we have the willpower, we have the technology. Fortunately, let me tell you, this country has the largest coal producing company of the world. Coal India is the largest coal miner of the world. We have the technology, we have the willpower. And let me also tell you that whatever bad impression about mining industry you have been carrying over the decades, it's not because of the present generation of the mining industry. The mines were nationalized only in the year 1975. So it's because of the legacy we have been carrying over. It is because of the mines, those were mined by private owners on very unscientific manner, that this impression is being carried by the people of the Jharkhand. Otherwise, it's very much possible that we can carry our mining operations in a sustainable manner. We can take care of the environment, we can take care of the ecology, we can take care of the project affected persons in such a way that development can continue on sustainable basis and we can ensure inclusive growth. Lastly, I would like to conclude my speech with two quotes. Think not what technology can do for you. Think not what technology can do for you. Think what you can do with the technology for the people, for the society, for the state, for the country as a whole. And gentlemen, as I was mentioning about the mining industry, we must also remember the famous statement of Chief Seattle, an American tribal chief. Just imagine his vision. In 1854, he made a statement that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. I repeat, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gopal Singh. And I mean, this is the third time I'm seeing a presentation on the Samad and the Kayak Cup. And I would rather recommend not only to the other companies of Coal India, but also to the other industries, public and private sector, to go through it and implement this type of thing, so that the grievance element is reduced and his statement, whatever it is, not what the technology can do for you, but what you can do with technology. That is something very relevant for all of us to remember. And thank you very much, Gopal Singh. I know that I saw a long SMS message. How much of work you have to do? The ministry has asked him to do something by noon today to send the papers. I said that notwithstanding all those things, you have to be here to tell us something about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Shri Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India. Sir, please come on the dais and say a few words.
Principal Secretary, Government of Jharkhand, Shri N. Sinha ji, Chairman Elects MP Narayan ji, MD Railway Corporation Limited, Shri R.K. Bhaguna ji, distinguished participants, representative from IT industry and the government of Jharkhand, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to be part of this event, and I am thankful to Principal Secretary N. Sinha ji, Government of Jharkhand and the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be part of this event. STPI is present in Jharkhand, and we had a center in Ranchi for the first time, and thereafter another center was opened in Jamshedpur. Thereafter, in recent years, we have decided to open two new centers, one in Dhanbad and one in Deoghar. And today we are going to sign an MOU with the government of Jharkhand for opening of a center in Deoghar. In Jharkhand, there are 21 IT units operating across the state, and the exports from Jharkhand is nearly 6 crore rupees as of now. If you look at the total number of units that operate under the STPI scheme, about 4,000 exporting units are operating under STPI, and so far there are 10,000 registered units. In fiscal year 2012 and 13, the exports from STPI registered units have been in the tune of 2,51,000 crore, with the annual growth of 10.some%. If you look at the overall figures of the export from the country, in the last fiscal year it was $76 billion, and the overall revenue of the IT sector has been $108 billion. So these figures are very enormous, and they speak for itself. This sector has employed over 3 million graduates across the country, and every year about 2 lakhs graduates are getting inducted in this sector. It's the largest urban job creator. The leading states, as we know, that Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, followed by NCR. These are the leading locations from where most of the exports are happening, most of the jobs are getting created. But of late the things are changing because of the cost arbitrage, because doing business in these metros and tier 1 cities have become very difficult and have become costly, and therefore the tier 2 locations and tier 2 states are now in focus, and we are at a juncture where the state of Jharkhand kind of places there is an ecosystem in place, there is a conducive policy in place. They can now reap the benefits by repositioning the state as an attractive that is destination for our industry. Gopal Singh, a very esteemed speaker, just had left the dais and the hall. But I would definitely mention about his speech. He has greatly inaugurated the kind of industry this state of Jharkhand has. Most of the centers of excellence and heavy industry in the field of mines and metals are available in the state of Odisha. And as we know, these sectors are the largest consumer of the state of the art PhD in technology. We know that it's automation, the security, everywhere the IT and electronics are used. And in case it's a food for thought that on one hand we go linearly and we attract the investment, we attract the IT industry, create the job within the state. Other hand, he can explore the possibility of a very, very revolutionary collaboration between this heavy industry like mining and metal industry and the researchers and centers of excellence, the educational institutions at one hand, and create those products which can be consumed by those industry itself. So far in India, a meaningful collaboration between the academia, between the centers of excellence, and between the users and the industry has not been up to now. And therefore, we can perhaps explore this possibility in the state of Jharkhand with the support of like Coking Coal Limited, Central Coal Trade Limited, SAIL, All Steel Corporation, Tata, etc. And the government of Jharkhand can play a vital role and play a role of catalyzer, play a role of incentivizer to see that these agencies, these stakeholders collaborate for a meaningful cooperation among them to create product and to use those products within this state. The centers of excellence in this state, like Indian School of Mines, BIT Mestra, IIM, IITs, all these things are already there. I have read the policy of this state government, very outstanding policy. It is incentivizing the industry and everything. And I am sure with these incentives in place and the conducive environment that the government of Jharkhand has put in place for the IT industry, I am sure that even even if we see at the state of IT industry technology and with the help of the state government and the national policies that have been created by the government of India, the incentives that are being given for the ESG industry for the country, I am sure that Jharkhand, the government of Jharkhand, the state of Jharkhand will definitely transform itself in a very attractive IT destination, a very attractive R&D destination where the innovation could take place, and I'm sure that this is state would progress in coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I again invite Shri R.K. Bahuguna, CMD Railway Corporation of India Limited, to complete his address and keep it short.
पूछा जाएगा पूछा जाएगा क्या वो कर लेगा इसमें नहीं अरे आ जाएगा सर आपको शुरू तो कर
again now good afternoon. I started in the morning, so because of some timing issues. So, and probably we are already ready to session. I'll try to close as early as possible. Just wanted to highlight certain points because some great speakers have spoken before now, so I got a better insight on what actually is happening. That government has a big dream of putting everything on cloud, computer, network, so that everything is accessible from anywhere to anywhere, like you check your mails. And that requires a big infrastructure, big ecosystem where everywhere is going on. Only to restart from the point where I said that telecom growth has become much faster. The world has become totally connected because of the internet and broadband. You could access any information anywhere to anywhere. Social media has been the big example that you have Facebook, you have Twitter, and in yesterday's news you hear the WhatsApp have been purchased for say huge sum by Facebook. But that's the power. The 5-year-old company has been purchased for $1 billion plus. So only thing we need to note here is like we had a mobile growth. We claim that we have a very used mobile numbers per 100. Then it has not gone to rural areas. Somewhere the growth stopped. Growth happened where there were people, there were opportunities, there were money, but the growth somewhere stopped. So the urban population may be 150%, the telecom density, rural it is still around 40%, and out of that still around 30% to 35% villages remain uncovered. So that's the area which calls for, because that is creating a problem. So what it does, the growth of technology created a digital divide. Like we had the divide between rich and poor because the rich kept becoming richer, so poor did not get opportunity. Same thing happened with the IT and telecom. So wherever was the people who had access, they have access to overcapacity. Other places people do not have. Government duty is to a good like governance model. They have to take care of people who cannot like meet and themselves. So one of the various schemes government decided that we create a national optical fiber network and cover the areas which are uncovered. Because where the growth stopped, all the telecom operators, all the private people, barring the incumbent BSNL, have not reached beyond district, except the blocks which come to the way. So areas remain disconnected. So this Noman project, most of you must be knowing, had around 5 lakh kilometer OFC planned out to cover 2,50,000 panchayats, and this is already in progress and tenders are awarded and this work is going on. There may be another constraint, but up to district, there are many operators which can give you facility. Within district, many operators can give you facility, whatever the government requirement or even common public requirement. Industry will grow only with this. But challenges remain between how to create an access network in villages and households. It still is unparalleled. You go to Panchayat, you create an optical fiber because that's the government money is pumped. Now the student is staying in a village nearby. Who all need this connectivity? Maybe farmers together as well. The most required is by the student who is going to the school and who is not having access to the quality education today. At least he can get the content. So these challenges remain. Then the next largest challenge is the devices and handsets. Because of the constraints of power supply and other issues, unless we have the mobile handsets, tablets, computers, which are affordable by the people, it is not going to grow. 2 days back, I was in a seminar where one of the CMDs indicated that in this year, 1 year, their data traffic has grown 3 times. They are not at anything. Their network is 5 years old. They are the first to roll out this network for 3G. But it was not growing because there was no instrument, no equipment which people could buy. Now with the cheaper equipment available and everybody has a GPRS on the phone, it is becoming affordable. So that's a challenge. Other area where these technologies are to be exploited is the education. What do I do with the network? Then, as you may be knowing, the government has set up a National Innovation Council also. So there is a need for innovation in all these areas, like education. Vocational education is one which can get you state employment. regular classrooms, if they could be covered by a better quality education, then the content is required to be developed. A structured content has to come up. And then it should be through the reform process involved. People can involve what they want to learn. I give you a small example in this. Rajasthan, the state government has put in computers in the classes so that teachers can be taught. We came to know about it because we were told to give connectivity over there. There were certain issues project and railway station. When we went after 1 week giving connectivity, connecting everything, we found the computers locked up in the storeroom. I said, why? Two reasons. The teachers themselves were not trained, not compatible with computers. Second reason was security of the computer. They were on the TNP of teachers. And third issue with the computers was, like the children themselves, if they touch the computer, they will break. They will damage. So that's what happened. It's an ecosystem. It's not that technology itself can do something. Technology can only facilitate. It can take you there. And when we discussed further at district level, we found that the content was the biggest challenge. What is taught in the school is as per syllabus, as per certain thing. It is not something like you just can teach anything to anybody. So these are the challenges in education. Similar challenges are on the health. We talk of telemedicine, we talk of health management systems. Now, once we have a health management system or a telemedicine, how it is going to be implemented? So these are the challenges. Similar challenges on the governance we have discussed in the morning, and we really like the chief secretary has spoken and the minister has also spoken, and the governance can get a great assistance once I have an infrastructure available. Otherwise, what do? I am providing some infrastructure, some network. Somebody is not there to govern total, whatever the portals, blocks, anything you say. So that's a major issue with governance, and now at least some states are proactively doing it. So that has been a great enabler. The biggest boost to this will come from the entertainment sector, because we know that the best will happen when there is we can see movies on that, we can see some other entertainment things on television, then it will have an advantage, and then automatically others will come in the circuit. Doing all this requires a lot of improvement on technology innovations, lot of bandwidth capacity. I am from telecom background. Many of you may not be doing telecom, but most of you know IT. Whatever we talk of, it requires a high capacity on backhaul. Whatever your mobile connection, mobile service comes, whatever you want to do, very small capacity. But when it gets connected, with millions of people using, the backhaul requirement is very high. Then another requirement is the device, what we provide in the villages, has to be video enabled or at least photo enabled, and it should work with a low power, because lower in the education level has the bandwidth requirement. I have instead of text, I have to teach people by videos and clips and photographs. So similarly, data center also a lot of development is required, because in India whole data is required to be kept on data center. Somebody was telling me your requirement is so huge that I think number of Googles will be required. If every government puts their data, whatever data in Google, everybody talks of whatever you type anything, it is on Google database, and the amount of infrastructure required is huge. So similarly, the content management, and then it should be whatever we do has to be ultimately affordable. I can spend billions of dollars to create the infrastructure. The cost will be so huge that it will become affordable. So this is just some data on how the internet has grown. We see that it's growing very fast. In India, we are not even connected. And imagine that when India gets connected, how much will be the growth? It will be very high. And then accordingly, the requirement of infrastructure should also be very high. And most of the requirements are driven by your web downloads, chats, and hardly anything on very little component of that is used by for a regular business or a like your normal governance or other issues. So most of it is on your movies, download, videos, Facebook, all these, the biggest user of the bandwidth capacity. Then what we need? We need in India to cities, we assume that most of things are in place, although not in a perfect manner, but something is available. For growing to the, taking for inclusive growth, covering to the people who are working on the rural areas and who want to give them facility. create a complete telecom infrastructure around it, so that all villages, all panchayats can be covered. So there is a, in telecom jargon, there is called a core layer, which has high capacity equipment, it runs on fiber, it can take any capacity from anywhere to backhaul network and ultimately data center, where all state repositories kept. I'm sure that like Jharkhand government will have a data center in Ranchi. If not, it will be kept in the IC. So those data requirements are really used. So the backhaul network is required. Then from district level, I need a network which will go to panchayats, blocks, all other places, so that from district it can go further. People can be connected. From panchayat, again, how do I go to village? Then I require an access network there, which can be either a radio or a fiber or some other arrangement. So that this hierarchy is required. Generally, we show it as a ring architecture, so that even if some damage somewhere in the network should not become down. These are all telecom jargons. I'm not getting into that. These are certain technologies required for backhaul, creating high capacity, some DWDM, etc., MPLS, about it. And similarly, some technologies will access. Some of them are like wired technology, as we are knowing today, ADSL, DSL, and mostly wireless technology and Wi-Fi. This is the most challenging part, which the content users have to deal with. Like structured content has to be developed by the user. Like government is doing a lot of work on that, e-governance, and I see doing great work on that. And other also many people developing these contents. But it has to be a structured content so that the data created can be used for everybody. Then similarly, data center services are required. Then content delivery network is required. How to deliver these contents is created to the people. But most important is the content what is available today mostly is on English language. Unless the content is on local language, which the people can understand, the content becomes a challenge. So these are the challenges in front of the people who are dealing with subject from the IT perspective. From government can say, okay, I should have a content. So these issues have to be taken care of by the IT department. Then affordable devices I have already discussed, and then creating of access network. Now, these are certain initiatives of government, like there is the National Innovation Council, who are encouraging innovation in any area. It has nothing to do with IT per se. IT becomes one of the biggest innovators. You can innovate in any area, and they are supporting. Then National Broadband Plan, then National E-Governance Plan, National Knowledge Network, Telecom R&D and Manufacturing. So, then common service centers the government has done, statewide vans have been created, CCTNS is the police network of crime control. So this is also, everything requires a network and a connectivity, as I already discussed. So this is what happened last time when Pani Sagar, the block, when the president could speak directly to the people, to the, in the National Innovation Council, and they basically wanting to know that what all innovations have done. IT was a enabler here. IT was not like what IT has done, but the solutions are like this. Something about Railtel. It is a Miniratna category 1 company of Indian Railways, a central PSU, and working for last 10 years. And company primarily have a total telecom optical network around railway route, and like this, so almost all area is covered. Around 42,000 kilometer network it has been laid. So with this, and then access network has been created around the city. We are complementing efforts of government, BSNL, MTNL, and other power grid, etc., to facilitate so that wherever the requirements are more or reliability is required, we get into it. So we have quite a reliable and quite a large network throughout the country. We are serving not only government, we are a partner in the NKM, we are also serving to some MNCs who have huge bandwidth requirement in the country. Then in the recognition, the Economic Times also acknowledged, they awarded us with the Best Trusted Carrier and Best Social Initiative. So, trusted carrier primarily we are the only neutral player in the industry. All other people are, they compete on their space. In my space, everybody comes and works with. In Jharkhand, we have a reasonably good network of of railways, and along that we are present. Our major customers happens to be here, Jharkhand, number of all higher institutes like IIM, NIT, RIMS, Central Institute of Psychiatry, NDM, college, all are our customers. Then PCCL, all this, JAP-IT, we are connected well in Jharkhand. We are a partner in National Knowledge Network. We also opened a R&D center in IIT Roorkee. One thing, 2 minutes more I take. One is regarding this, how to deliver this. We have done an innovative model. This is the president inaugurating the NKN startup phase. See, the challenge is how to deliver it to the common people. There are only two ways it can be done. One is the incumbent who has laid copper cables. There's a limitation of the bandwidth. Can't be more than 5 8 in real time. The distance is 4-5 kilometers. Other way is the cable operators who have reached most of the households in India, around large numbers, 12 crore households. So we are trying a model which we have successfully implemented also, that the cable operator can act as an access network provider from their place or our place. So from railway station we are taking up the local cable operator, taking the assistance, creating an IP network and delivering to the people in the institutions or at their homes, because he is the person most known in the society. All the data from inside internet services, video IP, video conferencing, e-governance that comes on inside, that gets collected on the data center, data infrastructure, and then goes to the cable operator. It can be done same thing on wireless. And this is what we have done in Kerala, where the government especially called us. They had a lot of problems. So today, 420 villages of Kerala are fiber connected on the data network, and they are very happy with it because they got a very high capacity bandwidth required, and they want more and more. And I think this is what one or two initiatives in telemedicine, whatever we have done, they are under validation. We have done around 36 panchayats. We have connected ourselves these locations, and we are seeing the reaction of people, because unless the people start using it, these services serve a purpose from e-agriculture, veterinary, all areas. So, thank you. I think time is running short. So, yeah.
Dr. Balkanai, it was an excellent presentation. We only wish we had some more time to listen to you, but time constraint has been there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we announce.
Lastly, I would invite Shri N.N. Sinha, Principal Secretary, Government Department of IT, Government of Jharkhand, and Shri Omkar Rai, Director General SDPI, to sign a memorandum of understanding for establishment of SDPI Deoghar. After this, we will continue with the next session, Pillars of Success for E-Governance in Jharkhand, Success Story of Aadhaar in Jharkhand. As we are running short of time, we cannot take a tea break here. So I request audience to, those who would like to take tea can, we are short of time, so I request audience to stay in. We start with the news. session in next 5 minutes. In next 5 minutes.
Provided you serve me.
Please, sir. Yeah.
मैं मांग लूंगा आपसे, टेंशन मत लो। लंच के पहले एक बार ले लूंगा पूरा।